Hi, welcome to the AppCodeBlog on YouTube. Today we're going to do a very simple HelloWorld app. We're going to start by firing up Xcode, and we're going to create a new Xcode project. We're going to select a view-based application, and we will name it HelloWorld. Xcode sets up the bare bones of the template for us here, and all we have to do is add a few elements to it to make our Hello World app. So we're going to find the view controller header file here, and we're going to add 3 variables to it. A UI label, which we will name our label. A UI text field, which we will name our text field. And finally a UI button, which we will name our button. Now you'll see that the first 2 I declared as IB outlets, and that is because when we get over to Interface Builder to set up the user interface, I want to be able to see these variables, and the only way to do that is to set them as IB outlets. Okay, now we're going to set our properties for these. Setting the properties in combination with synthesizing our variables, which we'll do in the implementation file, allows Xcode to create getters and setters for us behind the scenes, so we don't have to take care of those ourselves. I wouldn't worry too much about what this means yet. We'll get to that. Okay, we're going to do one more thing here, and that is create an IB action. And an IB action is a method that we will be able to access when we get into Interface Builder. I'm just going to name this change label text. That's it. Okay, we're done with our header file. We're going to switch over to the implementation file. And to get there, we can do one of 2 things. We can either click it here under our Groups and Files pane, or over here on the right side, we have this little toggle switch which toggles between a header and an implementation file of the same class. So we're going to get into the implementation file, and the first thing I'm going to do is strip out all of this stuff that we really don't need for our basic Hello World app. Okay, now got that out, we're going to synthesize our variables, our label, and our text field. Spell it right. Alright, we've got those variables synthesized, and now we're going to implement the IB action that we declared in our header file. And for now, all we're going to do is log the name of this action to the console. Not very exciting, but it'll show us that we're getting into our action here. Okay, all done there. So the next thing to do is set up our user interface. And to do that, I want to expand this resources folder, and we're going to double click on this nib file. And that's going to open it up in Interface Builder for us, and we're going to be able to visually lay out our user interface just by dragging and dropping the elements. So in our library here, we want to find a UI label, drag that onto our view. I'm just going to center it up here. And then we're going to find a UI text field, and I'm going to center that up as well. And finally, a UI button, which we will center and set the title to change label. Now, one last thing I'm going to do is just add a little bit of color. So I'm going to change the background to a light blue. Now you remember when in our header file we created variables for a label, a text field, and a button. Well, we want to link our label and our text field to those IB outlets that we created in our header file. So what we need to do, come to our document window here, select Files Owner, go to Connections Inspector, click this little circle next to our label, that's the variable that we created in our header file, and click and drag to the element in the view. Now we could have done that a different way. We could have expanded the view down here and dragged to it down here, just like that. Either way, it's the same thing. Okay, we're going to do the same thing with our text field. Now finally, with the button, we want to link the button to our IB action. And remember, this was the action that we created. So we're going to drag that over there, and then we're just going to select Touch Up Inside so that when a user touches the inside of the button, it fires off that action. Okay, we've got our user interface all set up. Let's go back into Xcode. As long as I don't have any typos, we can click Build and Run. And hopefully see it come up here. And there it is. Now you remember in our IB action we were going to log the name of the action to the console. So when we press this button, we see the name of our action being logged over here. Alright, that was easy enough. We're going to do one more thing here to make this just a little more interesting. We're going to set that label we created, we're going to set the text of that label equal to whatever text we type in our UI text field. There's just that one line of code that does that. Now if we build and run again, this time when we type something in here, and click the button, it'll populate our label up there. Just like that. Okay, that's it for today's tutorial. Hope you enjoyed it. It's just the beginning of your experience with developing iPhone apps. And for more tutorials, please come visit TheAppCodeBlog.com. And thanks a lot.